I work at a small gas station tucked away off a rural highway in Pennsylvania. The job is simple. Nothing exciting ever happens there. And honestly, that's why I stayed as long as I have. Easy work, decent pay, no drama. At least, that used to be the case. A few weeks back, we hired a new guy. I'll call him Jeremy. Jeremy was strange, mid-20s, quiet, awkward, and with a laugh that could make your skin crawl. It wasn't even a real laugh, more like a dry, crackling sound that didn't match the expression on his face. My boss and I joked about it once or twice, but he did his work, customers never complained, and everything seemed fine, until the motor oil started disappearing. Employee theft happens, especially in small shops where only one person works each shift. At first, we thought it was a tiny inventory mistake, a bottle or two missing. Then full shelves were empty. Then entire boxes from the storage room. Within days, we were losing whole shipments of motor oil. Always right after Jeremy's shifts, my boss checked the security tapes over and over, night after night. Jeremy would clean the counters, stock the drinks, sweep the floor, lock the doors. Nothing unusual, no sign of theft. Yet the oil vanished every single time. Finally, my boss had to attend his daughter's softball game, so he asked me to take a stack of tapes home and review them myself. He offered me extra cash under the table, and since I'm saving up for a vacation, I said yes immediately. There were 3 cameras, so I had 3 tapes for Jeremy's last shift. I expected a boring evening, and at first I was right. Jeremy started at 4 p.m. The footage showed the usual routine. He counted the drawer, swapped with the girl on shift before him, and waited behind the counter. At 4:03, Mrs. Templeton came in, a regular customer. Cigarettes and a newspaper paid with a 20. Nothing strange. Next was Ron, a biker, who stopped by every few days. He fueled his motorcycle, grabbed a bag of beef jerky, paid with a credit card, left. Then some guy wearing a cowboy hat, probably just passing through. $40 of diesel, paid with 100, gone. Normal, completely normal. I leaned back, already bored out of my mind, but money is money, so I kept watching. Everything stayed predictable until a little after 5 p.m. At 5:03, Mrs. Templeton came in again. Same cigarettes, same newspaper. Another 20. Same movement, same rhythm. I thought maybe she forgot she had already bought them. She was a forgetful lady. Strange, but not impossible. But then Ron pulled up again. Same bike, same jerky, same credit card, same body language. That's when I felt a cold knot form in my stomach. And a minute later, the cowboy hat guy returned. Same diesel, same $100 bill, same scratch of his nose before leaving. Identical. Down to the gesture. This wasn't forgetfulness. It wasn't coincidence. Every customer who came in for the next hour repeated their visit exactly. Same purchases, same timing, same expressions, over and over, 1 hour apart, a perfect loop. I thought maybe Jeremy had somehow edited the tapes, looped the footage, or tampered with it, but the sunlight through the windows kept changing naturally as the evening went on. Jeremy moved normally, doing all his shift tasks, nothing looped, except the customers. By the time I hit the 2-hour mark, I was shaking. I watched as far as I could stand it, then skipped ahead to closing. Jeremy counted the drawer again, turned off the lights, locked up, and walked to his car. No theft, no tricks, no clues. I almost turned the tape off, but something told me to keep watching. At exactly 12:03 a.m., Jeremy appeared on the screen. Not walked into frame, appeared. One frame, he wasn't there. The next, his face filled the entire camera. staring straight ahead, not at the counter, not at the store, at me. His eyes were wide, his smile unnatural, and the way he looked into the lens made me feel like he knew I was watching right at that moment. I yelled and dropped the remote. When I picked it back up, he was gone. The tape continued like nothing happened. I grabbed the second tape, the camera facing the back room. If Jeremy had climbed on something or leaned in close, I'd see it from this angle. I fast forwarded to 12:03, nothing, no Jeremy. But the motor oil, the entire shelf vanished in the same instant he appeared on the other camera. One frame full of oil, next frame, empty shelves. I turned the tape off immediately. I barely slept that night. This morning, my boss watched everything. The man nearly fainted. Jeremy was supposed to work tonight after my shift, and my boss wanted me there when he confronted him, since I was the one who caught him. Now I wish I never saw those tapes at all. That smile is burned into my mind. Update 2:49 p.m. I'm typing this from my phone. My boss finished all the tapes. He's terrified. Jeremy's due in at 4 p.m. and we have no idea how to even approach him. We don't know if he's some creepy thief or something else entirely. He doesn't show up in any time loops except the ones on that tape. It feels like he wanted me to see him, like he was showing off. We're trying to stay calm. I'll update later. Update 4:33 p.m. Jeremy didn't show up. His phone is disconnected and we're calling the police. Updates 5:33 p.m, 6:33 p.m, 7:33 p.m, 8:33 p.m, nothing. He's gone. Update 10:58 p.m, something insane just happened. When my boss and I decided to call the cops, I picked up the phone and the world went black. At least that's what I thought. It felt like the sun vanished. I came to 5 hours later. The clock said 9:33 p.m. exactly, and it wasn't moving. My boss was beside me, frozen mid-gesture. A customer in front of him was stuck holding money in his hand. The register clock was frozen. My phone was frozen. Even the cars on the highway outside were still, people inside unmoving like wax figures. Time itself stopped, and I was the only one aware of it. I ran. I didn't look back. Once I was halfway home, time snapped back into motion like nothing happened. The radio crackled, then music started playing. Nobody else noticed the lost 5 hours, but I know Jeremy did. I know it. Final update, 10:33 a.m. I managed to sleep around 4 a.m. Barely. At 6 a.m. my boss started calling non-stop. When he woke up, time had resumed normally. He contacted the police immediately and they investigated Jeremy's address, the one on his employee application. It was an empty lot. A house stood there once. It burned down in 1993. A family of 4 died inside. Arson, the whole place soaked in oil. Rumour said they had a son who vanished afterward. Nobody's seen him since. 4 FBI agents questioned me for hours this morning. One of them muttered, "Great, another one." Then they made me sign papers saying I can't talk about what happened. So, this is all I'll say. I'm going back to the station later. Supposedly, my boss thinks Jeremy, the creepy new night shift guy, has been stealing motor oil. My job is to watch the security tapes and catch him. Easy overtime pay. I'll start watching around 4 p.m. I hope it's just a boring shift, but I know what's coming.